we're assembling the blueberry pop-up card. So whenever I start a pop-up card, I always start with the base so that it has time to dry. I have already put my panel pieces on. I've laid out all my cut pieces so I know where they're going to go when I start working on that. And so you're going to flip this over to the inside. You're going to fold this first score line down to the top of the box, then fold this back up and fold this one down. So with this fold here, we're creating a 1/4 inch space that we're going to be gluing to the inside of the card. This helps the card to stay open when it's being held so that it doesn't just squeeze shut. Okay, so I'll apply glue here. And I am going to take just a few seconds to hold this down because the extra bulk of the folded paper. Just want to make sure that it adheres well. The card will not function properly if you forget this step. Nothing will be the right size. Everything will seem to be too short. So we're just going to set that aside now. And so your flowers each did come with a center, but I wanted to use gems in the center of my flowers. So I did not cut my centers. I'm just using a brown ink on that. I want to caution against using any foam tape within the top 2 inches of any piece. The top being, so when I refer to the top, I'm referring to everything above this tab because this is inside the card. And when the card folds down, all this is going to be down inside the card. And so if you have foam tape in here, it's going to affect the way that the card closes. And I'm just using some black ink on my blueberry. And that insert is done. Let's pull in the next one. Oh, before I start that one, I'm going to slide these pieces off of here, and I'm going to go ahead and glue this. I forgot to do that before I started. The tall pieces I always like to double up so that they aren't too flimsy. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to slide this under my mat here while we work on putting together the jar. Oh, did I forget my flower here? The only thing to keep in mind when you're looking to place anything is that you don't want to put anything below this line, because from this edge up is the top part of the card. Okay. Now, if you want, this one has a blueberry that you can add to the label. The box card that we did earlier did not have this piece. And then I've got to see where my tape is. 1 second. Okay. Have to get my I forgot my foam circles. I just ordered these off of Amazon. I like having circles for things like these. Now I am using a foam dot on my flower, and it's above that 2-inch space I was talking about. And I wanted to give that a little more dimension since those are the same color. Okay. All right. So just to give my base a little more time to dry, I'm going to go ahead and put the blueberries together before I pull it out. Finishes up the blueberries. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ink the brim of the basket here. Okay. Let's get our piece out. Let me get rid of all these little foam pieces I made. I'm gonna ink around this section here. I'm just gonna run this across. This is the tab that's gonna be underneath, so that's not really gonna show. I just want the edge. Want it to look like it's the edge. Do my basket handle. Okay. And then the first piece I'm going to add is the weaving. If I can hold it. Ooh. Way too much glue. Just use my finger to put this on some. I just filled my glue bottle so it came out a little bit fast. You don't need a whole bunch. I just like to make sure I have it, especially, whoops, on the ends, so that none of those are sticking up. Just kind of touch it there in the center ones. And there is a border slightly around the whole thing. So you just want to kind of put this in the center. And my glue just came out way too heavy. There we are. And now I'm going to put basket edge on. It does hang over the edge slightly. Okay. Now your blueberries, you're just going to glue. You can arrange them any way you want. I'm just going to do mine right like that. So I only need to apply glue down here on my leaves. I think I'll place my flowers like so. Okay, so there are our pieces. The basket is the back. So it goes here, and in the center is the jar. And the jar, you know what, I should move this flower over because the jar is going to be right in front of it. And so the flower goes in the center, and you'll notice that the centerpiece this time is off center, and it's so that you can still see the design on the basket. If it sat right in the middle, it would hide. I did that without showing you. So if it was right in the middle, it would hide all this detail on the basket. So its slit is off to the side so that you can see the side of the basket. And I don't like this flower right there either. I can't get that off. Okay. And then this one goes there in the front. Okay. So now we're going to pull these out. And this is going to slide through to the bottom. We're going to turn it over. And fold that tab up and glue it to the bottom here of the card. Turn it back over, and we're going to start with the back piece here. That slides in there and down through the bottom. Okay, so you want to be careful when you put this one in. You don't want to pull it too far because it is off to the side and the slit's a little long. So you just want to make sure that you're just doing it to the score line that's on that piece. Once you glue it in place, you won't have to worry about it. It's not going to move any further down. And then your centerpiece is going in over here, and it's off center. You just want to make sure the side of it's not hanging over the edge. And we're going to glue this bottom tab here to the center tab. Only glue it to the center tab. Okay, and then we're going to glue down this top tab the same way. And then when I push this up, you'll see that that lifts up the top and the bottom of this card. Okay. Now on this side, you're going to leave this top tab folded down. We're going to fold this bottom tab up. We're going to bring this over. We're going to glue these tabs together. Okay. So here we're going to just put glue on these tabs. And you don't want to use too much because you don't want it to ooze out and glue your card shut. And we gotta really apply some pressure, especially to this upper one, because that's where all this extra paper is at. And then we're going to take a peek. Whoops, see, now that glue oozed out a little bit. It pulled off when I did it. So those are some things you want to be careful of. Now you see when I push this bottom up, everything lifts. And that's because it's glued to our center piece. Okay, so now we're going to close this up. And this is our blueberry box card. Thank you for joining me.